Ancient stories tell of a time when adding a simple salt to a child's bath was believed to save his life in just 3 days. His body, caught by an illness that left him unable to move or speak, had been given up on. 3 days later, the boy was whole again. But there's a deeper insight to be found here. These same teachings reveal that salt is far more than a simple element of healing. It acts as a bridge to your deepest knowing, to the very pattern of your existence held within your being. What you are about to explore might change the way you perceive this common substance. We will touch on why ancient traditions encoded salt as a tool for awareness, how your own body uses salt to maintain a subtle connection to life, and a specific way to engage with salt that has been shared for generations to awaken a deeper sense of self. If you feel a calling to understand these timeless truths, walk this path with us, as this awareness could transform your journey inward forever. Wisdom keepers have long shared a profound insight about this simple element. They spoke of salt not merely as a mineral or something to preserve food, as we often see it. From a place of deep awareness, they described salt as a crystallized memory of intention, a physical form holding the vibrational pattern of existence itself. But the teaching flows deeper still. In these traditions, it is said that every single grain contains what we might call prayers in form, tiny structures that resonate with the same flow as our own consciousness. They explain that when salt dissolves in water, particularly when approached with a clear and peaceful intention, it opens a channel between the world we see and the world we feel. There is a story of a woman facing what was considered a profound imbalance in her vitality. She was guided to dissolve sea salt in water with specific affirmations. In time, her vitality returned, her balance was restored, and those around her were left to wonder at the simple power of nature. Let's consider why salt appears in so many sacred teachings across time. It's often not for the reasons we have been told. From a place of deep insight, one might see that when a great teacher referred to his students as the salt of the earth, it was not merely a turn of phrase. It was an offering of a genuine spiritual understanding, a method they were meant to embody and use. Ancient wisdom suggests that salt acted as a physical anchor, allowing a centered mind to stay connected to its awareness while living a human experience. These teachings go further, explaining that salt's crystalline form reflects the geometric harmony found in what some call the memory of the universe itself. When you mindfully interact with salt, you are connecting with a form of crystallized insight that can help your own spirit recall its journey and path in this life. This reframes our understanding of consciousness, intention, and well-being. Accounts passed down through generations speak of individuals using certain salt practices to connect with deeper streams of memory, enhance their intuitive senses, and invite spiritual growth. One man, after following a salt meditation practice, reported a profound connection to a long lineage of experiences that reshaped his understanding of his own life's purpose and relationships. But here is where it becomes deeply personal, and in a moment, I will share a perspective that can feel truly transformative. The body itself contains centers of what you could call salt wisdom, places where salt gathers to maintain pathways of inner communication. These are not just biological functions, they are like antennas for your own intuition. Your tears have the highest concentration of this spiritually alive salt, which may be why releasing them during moments of deep reflection or meditation can lead to breakthroughs and a profound sense of clarity. The human brain rests in a fluid with a precise salt balance, essential for what we could term su to self-communication. When this delicate balance is disturbed through a lack of awareness or inner disharmony, one can experience a feeling of being adrift without purpose, a spiritual numbness that many feel today. Now, here is a story that brings a sense of stillness. Imagine a family that had tried everything. A loved one remained in a distant, silent state for many months after an accident. They had exhausted all known paths and spent all they had. In a moment of pure surrender, they sought a different kind of wisdom. They were guided to prepare baths, using sea salt from a certain place, blessed with particular intentions, and aligned with the cycles of the moon. It was explained that the person's awareness had become like a boat unmoored from the shore, and the salt would act as a gentle anchor to guide his consciousness back to his body. Though filled with uncertainty, their hope was greater. They followed the guidance with complete focus. On the 7th day, he opened his eyes. Within weeks, he began to walk again. There was no conventional explanation. But wait, there is an even deeper truth in this healing that connects to the quiet wisdom already inside of you. It was understood that this person's return was not simply a physical event. It showed that salt can act as a bridge between states of being. The salt did not just assist his body, it re-established his spirit's connection to its physical home. This insight offers a powerful perspective for anyone feeling a sense of disconnect, anxiety, or inner loss. Your body creates salt through its own natural processes. Yet, wisdom traditions teach that the salt formed through peaceful states, through prayer, meditation, and focused intention, carries a different vibrational quality. This is why tears of joy feel different from tears of sorrow, and why the very salt within your body responds to the state of your inner world. Here is a perspective on salt that modern thought is only just beginning to approach. In deep contemplative states, it has been observed that salt crystals have a capacity for memory. They can hold and transmit vibrational information, much like we now understand how crystals can store other forms of data. When you bless salt or hold it with clear intention, you are programming it with a peaceful connection that your body can then recognize and harmonize with. This understanding echoes across many ancient cultures. From sacred texts referencing salt rituals to ancient salt deposits holding what geologists find to be unique mineral combinations, to indigenous ceremonies that mirror these very same principles. All signs point to salt being profoundly more than a simple mineral. Consider a story of a young person carrying the deep weight of a traumatic event. Conventional methods offered no peace, and they felt utterly lost. They were guided to a specific salt practice, which involved dissolving blessed salt in water for both drinking and bathing, all while holding certain prayers in their heart. The transformation was observable to everyone. Within weeks, the heavy dreams lessened, the inner turmoil quieted, and a sense of spiritual peace returned for the first time in years. They felt that this simple salt practice had brought them back to themselves. This points to something fundamental about how salt can work on an energetic level that is important to grasp. From this perspective, difficult experiences can create what you might call soul residue, energetic dust that clouds your clarity and connection to your true nature. Salt, when used with clear and humble intention, acts like a pure stream of water, gently dissolving this residue and allowing your natural inner light to shine through once more. And here is how this ancient wisdom can be brought into your life in a simple way, one that can transform your daily practice of awareness. Timeless teachings suggest specific ways to charge salt with your own spiritual intention. It is recommended to hold salt in your hands during prayer or meditation, allowing the quiet energy of your being to infuse the crystals with a clear purpose. This charged salt can then be used with your food, in your bath, or simply carried with you as a reminder of clarity and inner peace. The method is humble but potent. Take pure sea salt in your palm, close your eyes, and connect with your deepest, most peaceful intentions. Imagine a gentle, clear light flowing through your hands and into the salt. Feel a sense of gratitude for this simple gift from the earth, and ask that it may serve your highest well-being and inner journey. A person who dedicated himself to this practice each morning shared his experience. He charged salt during his morning stillness and used it throughout his day. Over time, he reported a greatly enhanced sense of intuition, deeper states of meditation, and what he called a constant feeling of gentle guidance in his life. But there is an even deeper practice, one that has been used to access a sense of soul memory and life purpose. Ancient traditions speak of a method of salt contemplation, a way of receiving guidance and insight using only salt and water. The practice involves dissolving blessed salt in pure spring water while holding a specific question about your life's path or seeking clarity on a decision. As the salt dissolves, you enter a quiet, meditative state and simply observe the patterns, feelings, or insights that arise within you. The teaching is that the dissolving salt creates a gentle resonance with the memory of life itself, allowing you to access your own deep history and true direction. A teacher who documented her journey with this practice over several months reported receiving clear insights about her path, relationships, and spiritual focus that led her to what she described as living my authentic truth for the first time. Her reflections tell of specific understandings and feelings that later proved to be true. This connects to a profound way of seeing salt's role in sacred stories and the journey of awakening that is often missed. The mentions of salt in these old texts were not just figures of speech. They described real spiritual understandings for those ready to see them. When a figure in an ancient story is said to have turned to salt, we can view this not as a punishment, but as a profound transformation. Her awareness had become so attached to a lower state of being that she crystallized into the very element that preserves and purifies. The pillar of salt becomes a symbol of the choice every soul has to remain attached to what is fleeting or to transform into a purifying presence for a higher purpose. This way of seeing reframes these old stories as guidebooks for our inner journey rather than just tales. Here is what this can mean for your own path of awareness and unfolding. Your connection with salt can mirror your relationship with inner purification and purpose. When you engage with salt mindfully, blessing it and seeing its sacred nature, you are taking part in a practice as old as time, one that connects you to a greater consciousness and can gently support your spiritual path. Different types of salt are said to carry different qualities. Sea salt connects you to emotional flow and intuition. Himalayan salt grounds you in the earth's strength and physical well-being. Ancient rock salt is said to hold time wisdom, a connection to knowledge from earlier ages when humanity had a stronger, more conscious link to the rhythms of nature. A healer began to bring these teachings on salt into her meditation and her work with others. She noticed that people responded more peacefully when she blessed the salt used in their care, and her own spiritual sensitivity deepened over many months of this steady, quiet practice. And now, here is the most profound insight about salt that can change how you view your body's own perfect design. Ancient teachings explain that your body's salt balance has a direct effect on your ability to receive inner guidance and maintain your soul's awareness in this life. When you are properly mineralized with consciously chosen salt, your very cells become more open to what could be called divine insight, a direct knowing of wisdom, healing, and purpose from a deeper part of your own consciousness. This is why certain salt practices were often recommended for people wishing to develop their intuitive abilities or deepen their state of prayer. The salt quite literally helps to tune your physical self to receive and transmit spiritual awareness more clearly. Modern research into salt's role in our nervous system supports these timeless insights. Your whole system requires a precise salt balance to function at its best, and your brain's capacity to process thoughts depends on this harmony. What science is now observing aligns with what ancient wisdom has shared about salt's spiritual importance for ages. A meditation guide began to teach these salt practices to her students and observed beautiful changes. Students reported deeper meditative states, clearer intuition, and more rapid spiritual understanding. Several felt what they described as profound moments of clarity during salt-supported meditations that transformed their sense of life purpose. This brings us to the simple practices that can begin to change your spiritual life today. You can start each morning by blessing the salt you use, whether in your food, your bath, or carried as a quiet reminder. Ask that it serve your highest well-being and inner evolution. As you go through your day, remain aware of salt as a sacred element that connects you to consciousness, not just a seasoning. Create a weekly ritual of a salt bath, using pure sea or Himalayan salt in warm water while you hold a peaceful intention or prayer. It is taught that this practice cleanses not only the body but also the spirit, making space for quiet guidance and clarity to come forth. When you are facing a big decision or seeking insight, try the method of salt contemplation. Dissolve blessed salt in pure water while you focus on your question. Then, sit in stillness and observe what feelings or ideas arise as the salt disappears into the water. The wisdom passed down through countless experiences shows that salt is far more than a mineral. It is a spiritual ally that can support your awakening, deepen your connection to yourself, and help you walk your soul's path in this life. But there is one thing to hold in your heart as you begin. Consistency is more important than perfection. Begin with a simple, daily blessing of salt and slowly welcome other practices as they feel right and true for your path. It is always emphasized that our practices must align with our spirit's own timing and genuine feeling, never forced or done like a machine. Consider keeping a journal of your experiences to notice the patterns, insights, and changes that arise as you build your relationship with salt as a spiritual companion. Many of the most profound healings begin with very simple practices that grow into deep spiritual breakthroughs over time. If possible, connect with others who are exploring these ways of being. A shared journey can provide support and strength. Remember that these are not new ideas, but ancient wisdom. These methods have been tested and felt through thousands of lives across many years of careful observation and living. Your readiness to explore salt as a sacred tool connects you to a long line of souls who have used these very same practices for awakening, for healing, and for serving a purpose greater than themselves throughout our human story. You are not just learning a technique. You are taking part in humanity's unfolding journey and remembering your own spirit's timeless nature. The salt in your tears, your blood, and your very cells holds the memory of your soul's path through countless states of being. By working with salt consciously, you are accessing this vast memory and allowing it to guide you in your current life toward your highest way of being. As you start to integrate these practices, stay open to the profound shifts that can happen. The ancient teachings consistently remind us that spiritual growth flows more easily when souls align with natural spiritual allies like salt, and the countless stories of healing and awakening give inspiring testament to what is possible. Your path is your own, but the principles revealed about salt's sacred nature are universal for all souls who seek a deeper connection to consciousness and their most authentic self. If this sharing has opened a new door of understanding for you, continue to follow your inner guidance on this journey of discovery. Share this perspective with others who are also ready to explore the deeper currents of spiritual awakening and mindful living. The universe has provided simple, available tools like salt to support our growth. Your willingness to see and work with these gifts is a sign of your soul's readiness for the next step of awareness that is waiting for you to discover.